around the cabin.
Are we live?
Live.
So exactly like we didn't want to do was go straight in like this. So
Yeah. Well, I'm Sam. This is Houston. We are Shotgun Logic Podcast.
we're gonna have a shotgun passenger with us. Somebody's gonna be riding shotgun.
Yeah.
That's the whole goal. Is eventually that seat's gonna be filled.
We got the mic ready.
Yeah, both of us have been fortunate enough to have careers to where we have clients with amazing stories and amazing backgrounds. So
We got actually a list of potential guests ready to go.
So I think the biggest thing that we have to offer is we're just normal cats. We're not trying to be somebody we're not and then act like somebody we're not. We're just going to tell you a bunch of great content and hopefully have a bunch of good guests for everybody to relate to. Talking about guests, we were talking about your brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we're going to throw people under the bus and do that quite a bit, but
He's a great dude, man, and he knows the UAP world. He's in it, man, and he's he was so excited when the New Jersey drones started happening. He's like, see, I'm not crazy.
it's real, yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely need to have him on. He's a wealth of knowledge of anything UAP related. Interesting stuff, whether you believe it or not. Obviously there's something out there. People are seeing shit, whether it's us or them, whoever them could be. Who knows?
Yeah, I think a lot of us believed in it, but then when the government starts talking about it and coming out and saying it's real, then now naturally we're going to be like, is it real or are they just gaslighting us? What's the deal?
There's they got that Project Blue Beam, where that's supposedly going to be a fake alien invasion, and it's odd that all this shit was going on right leading up to the election and right after the election, and then all of a sudden all these drones appeared. Obviously some form of
distraction.
Yeah. They had FAA compliant lights on them. Right. I don't think the aliens are going to come down with the FAA compliant lights on their drones. Right.
I think a lot of it too has to do with what's going on with the government, and a lot of the talking points that we're going to jump on are probably going to be wrong. Like we're definitely not researched type guys that we've done all the legwork and reading and all that. We'll lean on our producer for that part, but I'm sure we're going to throw out some crazy stuff and probably none of it has any facts at all. But
it'll be entertaining.
Yeah. Talking about how crazy things are right now. Like,
yeah.
Dude,
did you happen to catch Trump's speech the other night?
I did.
Did you see all the standing ovations the Democrats gave him?
Yeah, right.
Can you believe that shit? He's literally talking about good stuff for the country, stuff that he's done, whether you like him or not. It's shit that is good for the country.
Yeah.
And these assholes won't even clap. Then he brings out this poor kid who fought cancer, won a battle with cancer to this point in his life, deputizes him as a Secret Service member, and they don't clap. It's almost sad. And when we first started watching it, I was like, man, I wish he calls them out. He needs to call them out. And he finally did. It was great, man. I couldn't believe I think he handled it great.
That has to be money, right? Like these people are worried about their kids' college tuitions, and that's why they're doing this, right? Because obviously you see that what they're pushing is just trying to make some sort of division between us. So.
When they get mad that Elon Musk is figuring out ways to save taxpayers' money, something obviously isn't right there. There's obviously some corruption. I'm sure, and again, I'm not an expert on this, but I would be surprised if a lot of that money from USAID wasn't going to a lot of these politicians,
Right. Oh.
And now it's cut off, and now they're like, shit.
I think that's obvious. You have some politicians that make $250,000 a year that are multi-millionaires.
Oh, yeah. Pelosi makes less than $200,000 a year, and she's worth $60 million or whatever. Maybe not exact numbers, but you could literally save every penny for the last 40 years of your salary and still not be even halfway there.
Yeah, I think I can attest to that. Like, if you look at what I've actually made, it's probably around those numbers, and I think I have maybe like $100 in the bank or something. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
But dude, it's nuts, and I think it's a crazy time to be alive for a couple of the reasons. But that's one. Like these cats are putting out, risking their life, and their families' lives. Like once you start turning off these guys' money, they're going to come after you.
Man, Elon was talking on Joe Rogan's podcast the other night about how dangerous it's getting, And I mean, he's getting real threats, man, you know? And I'm sure somebody like him always gets, I mean, you know, even we have haters on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, so obviously he's getting hit all the time, but now I'm sure it's really scary. You know what I mean? Instead of just some wacko, it's people that really could fucking kill him, you know?
I saw that episode when he asked him, he was like, did you ever suspect that you were going to pay all this $44 billion for this platform and then be used against you? They call them, everybody calling you a Nazi now. And he was like, you know, I didn't see that one.
I know. And, you know, for people to treat an African-American that way, you know, I mean, it's so messed up.
But, dude, it's just great. I mean, I love it. Every day, it's like ever since the election. And, you know, I was never just a hardcore Republican or, you know, a Trump lover or anything like that. But I've always just seen that I'm just someone who can kind of shift through the BS, you know, where we sit on our daily basis. We have to know when we're being bullshitted and when we're not.
Well, you know, honestly, with me, it was probably 9/11 kind of made me politically aware, and I started kind of paying attention. But, you know, I back then would think our government would be involved in anything crazy like that. And when I would hear people talk about it or see the documentaries like Loose Change or whatever, it would piss me off. I'd get so mad about it. But then the more you start seeing what the hell they're really doing, and you know, COVID hit, and that was all it took for me, man. COVID hit, and you know, for the first couple of weeks, bro, I'm wearing masks. I'm wiping off our food that we were getting from DoorDash. You know what I mean? I'm really worried. I'm believing this shit. And then I saw a video about a doctor in California that was trying different forms of treatment, and they were canceling this dude, you know? And it's like, what? That makes no sense. Why would you cancel this dude who has proven methods of treatment for a disease that supposedly is dangerous enough to kill the whole planet?
Right,
you know?
and using a Nobel Prize winning medicine to do that.
Yeah.
You know, that they couldn't monetize, they couldn't make money off of that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Dude, Jennifer and I hope this doesn't sound too weird, but
tinfoil.
we went to a feed store and got some ivermectin, bro, just to have. You know what I mean? Joe Rogan was talking about it, and I started researching it, and I'm like, well, dude, they use this every day in Africa to prevent all sorts of stuff. This is a real treatment, but it's not patent, or I guess they can't monetize it like Pfizer can do most of the drugs they create.
Right.
So it's not as lucrative for them. You know?
Follow the money. I know we keep saying that, but you know, just going back to the 9/11 thing, it's 10 years ago. If you even talked about it, like much less on a podcast where eventually people are going to hear this, but you wouldn't even talk about it at work or in front of strangers. The fact that the government would hurt their own people to, you know, either cover something up or, you know, pass an agenda that they want. And, you know, and I'm sure there's some stuff that we're going to say that Matthew's going to take off because
we were probably going to be very wrong about some stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want to end up in a courtroom, but as far as I know, this is America, so we can say whatever the heck we want.
I think so.
But just going back, the whole 9/11 thing, you know, in the beginning, everybody's emotions were like, America is great. You know, that was the best times. It's like everybody loved America. They had the flags out.
Dude.
Everybody was cheering. The firemen could be like rock stars and the policemen, dude, especially the New York guys. And it was just great. That feeling.
Bush stood on the pile of rubble with the megaphone saying, we're going to get the people that knocked down these towers.
I mean, we got played. We got played. We know. We got played.
Oh, for sure, man.
Because the whole like Building 7, you know, that's the thing that gets me. Everybody can talk about the planes and that those buildings are made to withstand planes flying into them, literally, like they are made. That's not going to, and that when something falls from something crashing into it, it slows down as it falls. It doesn't speed up like when it's got detonations going off to lower a building.
Yeah, it's weird. And also the BBC was broadcasting on live TV that the Tower 7 had fallen down, and you could see the clip. It was still up
behind
in the background.
Yeah.
It was still there. It hadn't fallen down.
It fell down out of sympathy. We know. They felt sorry for the other buildings.
Well, and there's recordings of I guess the fire marshal or whatever saying pull it, whatever that means. You know what I mean? Does that look? Maybe it just means get your guys out because it's going to fall down, right? Who knows? But to me, it almost sounds like let's blow it up.
Let it rip.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it doesn't have anything to do with Rumsfeld. Wasn't it Rumsfeld that said that they had like a $30 trillion deficit?
Like a week before that happened.
It was days. It was the day before.
Yeah. And homeboy just took out a huge insurance policy on his building against specifically terrorism. Now, that building had been attacked by terrorists before, so maybe that's not totally crazy, but it's crazy that it was just days or weeks before.
He had that Pelosi
right?
insight.
Yeah.
He dreamt it.
He was insider insurance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll get down on this tangent and start talking about politics forever. But not that it's an easy subject to talk about either. I mean, this is the government doing it to its own people. And, some people are afraid to say that. A lot of people like the whole COVID thing. And I don't know about you, but I resisted that shot. And
yeah, bro. Well, look, I have a big family, and my father he was going through cancer at the time. So his doctor's like, take the shot. And he took a couple, and thank God he's been fine.
He's good. My
mom, same thing, man. She was going through shit. And so, my sister, I mean, everybody, Jennifer and I and our son, we definitely, we stayed away from
resisted
it, man.
it.
I mean, I dude, I just, you start looking into it, and it's like, this, apparently they had the patent for this mRNA vaccine for years before. And supposedly this Operation Warp Speed is what brought it to life. But even if that was the case, you can't make a vaccine, can you, in a year or less that you know what I mean, that to a disease that just popped up out of nowhere.
Right, right. All the other vaccines were tested
for
30
years,
30 years and stuff like that. And this one was, 18 months or 12 months?
Yeah.
Something
Well,
like
they gave it to a few beagles in Fauci's lab and said, okay, let's.
It was literally months. It wasn't even years. It was months.
It's crazy. And the fact, it was so upsetting, too, how on board Trump was with it the whole time. And it was like, bro, there's no, can you not see what they're doing?
I really didn't, I guess, get, what do they call it, red pilled or whatever. I didn't really come to start micromanaging what they're doing until we sat at home during COVID for a couple of days. Luckily, I don't know about your business, but with mine.
Did y'all close down at all?
No, not at all. Like, we got super busy because everybody was at home and they wanted to mess with their Ferraris.
Yeah, we did too, bro.
Porsches.
Well, so we were told, somehow I heard that we were supposed to close down if we were in Dallas, right? So I didn't want to, I know, it's so stupid, bro. I ended up having everybody come to McKinney, and we just, bro, we were busy as hell, dude. I mean, and everybody was getting that COVID money.
Yeah.
So nobody was complaining about tent prices,
Yeah.
I mean, it was, we probably had some of the best couple of years during that period.
Yeah.
So
we were with the guys down at RAC at the time. We didn't have our own building at the time, and they could not keep Porsches in. It was like these cars would come in, they would do their thing, make them beautiful, and then they would just leave like that. Yeah. And the problem was that they couldn't find cars anywhere. They were having to go upstate and trying to do all that. But what I'm trying to make the point is like everybody was at home. I was at home and, kind of trying to chill and pay attention to the news more. But ever since then, it's like they played all their cards. They pushed all their chips in, and, they were hoping that everybody was just going to believe that shit. And a lot of people did. And I feel like it killed a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people were vaccine injured.
It ruined that, but also just the mindset of kids, I think. I mean, if you were a kid in high school during that time where they made you stop going to school and they developed this online approach to school, it created a bunch of recluses and hermits.
How do you go back?
Yeah, I mean, they went back, but now, I mean, their social skills are stunted now, I think, They're totally okay with just getting online and gaming and talking to their friends, online because they weren't supposed to be around them,
Yeah.
And, this whole 6 foot to stop the spread, Fauci's now on tape saying that was bullshit. It was made up. It just sounded good. They wanted to give people something to feel good about, right?
Right.
I mean, that whole thing. There's still convenience stores you go into and you'll see on the floor. Have you seen that where it'll say, please stand here, like every 6 feet? Like,
right, the plexiglass, dude. If you were selling plexiglass,
bro, and
or if you had some,
dude.
If you just had a stash somewhere.
I remember going to Dick's Sporting Goods during that time, and they had just put up these goofy-ass COVID shields that were like, I mean, thrown together, bro. And I'm like, wow, did y'all do this?
Airtight, bro.
They called a company came in and did that, and it was the worst. Bro, I bet
they
made so much fucking money, bro.
Butt too,
Dude, it was so poorly done. That was, and Pawn Stars is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I hate the episodes where they have the damn COVID screens up. It's like, guys, come on, bro. What do you do? It's like this much plastic. You know what I mean? And it's Yeah, I mean it's wild. But
And just when everybody just took all of their thoughts about everything and what you should do, and you know, I was like, I'm not gonna wear a mask. I'm definitely one of those people, and
yeah,
I wasn't the type of guy where if a mask Nazi came after me and hit me up in public or something, I would just walk away or just try to defer it. I would never try to instigate. But some of those people, man, got heated over that stuff.
Bro, we would have people that we would see pull up in the parking lot at the shop with a mask on in their fucking car. They'd get out, walk across the parking lot, come in and see none of us are wearing masks, and they would take their mask off.
Oh, good.
And then when they would leave, bro, they would put the fucking mask back. It turned into a political statement, bro.
Right.
It was some weird political statement. It doesn't make. The other day on the way to taking my son to school, this chick was crossing the street in front of us.
Outside.
Out jogging. She's out jogging with a fucking mask on, bro.
And it's literally worse for you because you're breathing the carbon dioxide from your body.
It's like sticking a banana in your tailpipe.
Oh, there you
know
go.
what I mean? Dude, it makes zero sense.
He's definitely going to cut that up for sure. Dude, but I feel like that a lot of people just, you know, they dug deep in. They were just like, you know, you don't believe in the government and this and that. You didn't get the COVID shot. I resisted it, and my wife was a teacher at the time, and dude, they were on her hard.
Dude, my daughter, bro. My daughter's a nurse. And they made her think that if she didn't get it, she was going to get fucking fired.
What about the people that did, or the
she got
military guys?
Well, I know. Imagine all that, bro. And you know what sucks is there's vaccine injuries are starting to pop up now. And my daughter actually just had, she's having a situation where she's having to go to the doctor to get some stuff looked at. And it may have something to do with the shot. I mean, hopefully not.
We're going to get canceled on the first episode, bro. This is probably
I don't think
stuff that we're not supposed to be talking about.
No, Trump said it's okay now.
It's okay now.
Yeah. Yeah. He passed that new amendment. Bullying is okay.
Yeah, Matthew's phone number is 903 He's our producer.
What do you mean?
He's fully responsible for this whole podcast.
Listen, if anything that we talk about gets reported, you can spank me.
Oh, God.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep him off the mic. And, dude, what about his idea about our guest today that we were going to have? He was so stunned on us doing. Do you remember when we were trying to do some brainstorming for the podcast?
The blow-up doll?
Yeah. He was going to bring one of his blow-up
I was thinking,
dolls.
man, my family might watch this, bro.
I mean, we can the 33rd episode or something. We'll do that for you, Matthew.
Yeah. Once we get rid of all the yips, a little more confident.
So hopefully everything's going to change. Hopefully, I don't know about you, but hopefully we can actually keep this thing going and just get some guys behind us, man. We're just normal cats, and
oh yeah, dude.
We'd love to hear.
We're just having a conversation, bro. I think it's. I would love to bring people on that experts in certain fields, just to pick their brain and. Talk to him about a variety of things, man.
How old are you again? No, I'm just kidding,
bro. I know. Am I older than you, bro?
Oh, definitely. I hope so.
I know. I look way younger.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, so we can see that in the comments, especially on some of your videos that you have, dude. Y'all's content. Bro. I know Matthew makes content for both of us, so it's pretty similar. But dude, some of y'all stuff is crazy, and how it takes off like that.
Well, y'all's too, bro. But I got these. I literally have stalkers, bro.
Really?
They watch every video, comment on every video.
You mean haters? You don't have stalkers, you have haters?
They're texting, they're emailing the shop. I had a dude call the shop and go, "Why don't you like Scar?" and hang up.
How do you get to that point,
dude?
Bro?
It's like I know,
there.
bro.
I want to be there.
We found, Matt's up there when we're slow. He'll do deep dives on these people that are leaving comments, and he figured out the other day. Look, this motherfucker has 2 Facebook accounts, and he's commented on every one of our videos on each one of his accounts.
Tell Matt he needs to go to work.
Yeah, right.
Dude, he has too much on his. Get some cars in the shop. What is he doing?
Oh man,
jeez. But dude, that's hilarious. And then I remember too, and I don't know if you want to bring this up, but. Whenever you kind of went loose that one day on your group, and we're like, what did he tell them that they were a bunch of
called his whole fan base a bunch of retards.
A bunch of retards.
Oh shit! I thought Trump made that legal again,
Not
but
to
apparently
throw you
not,
under the
bro.
bus, bro.
Not, bro, dude. TikTok literally within a second, bro. I got a message that I had
No.
a strike
No.
and your comment has been deleted. I'm like, well, if a motherfucker calls me Snaggletooth, I can't call him a retard.
Oh, is that where that went?
Yeah, bro.
Oh.
I'm like, you're a retard.
I was wondering how that
but
started.
it's okay to call me Snaggletooth, right?
They hide all the comments for me. Like, I don't really catch a bunch of hate yet. I get a bunch of people just.
Oh, they're the same. It's like, oh, that's ridiculous. I'd do it for $1,500. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everybody thinks it's, like Jason's van. It was like a $28,000 build, right? But
Legit.
dude, that legitimately, dude, that was everything. That was the roof, the Kevlar, the interior that was put in. The, I mean, it was a lot of shit, right?
Yeah.
And I think some of these people only watch a portion of the video and then they just go straight to commenting.
Yeah.
I
I think Jason. I think he works for the feds or something, bro.
I think it's cybersecurity or something.
Is it? Because have you
He's
noticed?
flying everywhere all the time.
I get a lot of customers and clients that will Facebook request me and try to catch me on socials, right?
Yeah.
So he pops up like he's watching my stuff as one of the suggestions for friends, right? So this is just on Facebook. I'm an old dude, so
Yeah.
But you go to click on his to be like, hey, yeah, I want a friend request this guy.
Yeah.
And then Facebook immediately sends you a message and says that we don't think that you know this person and you cannot friend request this person. Nothing. And it's like, just, I don't know what he's done to it, but you can't just friend request him. I guess it's a setting. I'm sure somebody will comment on that. Matthew's already ready to say
he's
something.
a wizard, bro. He's like, we installed one of these Linkswell head units in one of his vehicles I think it was for his daughter. And, he downloaded a totally different operating system to it and made it work wirelessly. Bro, he had this thing working the way it wasn't even supposed to.
Yeah.
And he came back the next day. He's like, man, check out what I made this thing do.
You're like, aren't you supposed to be working or something?
Yeah.
When he used to come to the shop a lot, I don't know what happened. He might have found another guy to do his work or
No, I
something.
told you, bro. He still has a BMW y'all did.
He does.
Yeah, dude, he loves you guys.
We
man.
did one of the first color change PPF jobs that we've ever done. Was
the
on
blue
his,
one, right?
on
Or the
his
aqua
GTR.
color? Yeah, dude,
that car was
a badass car.
It was Miami blue.
Yeah, we did a badass system in that thing too, man. He doesn't half-ass it, bro. That dude,
he goes hard.
yeah,
He likes to go fast.
and he likes good shit. That's what's so. It's such a relief dealing with customers like him, man, because it's so hard to put together a really nice system for somebody.
Right.
When they're like, man, all I got's like 500. You can't. But
Don't
when
really
they
get
understand,
that in my shop, but
yeah, I know that must be.
it's
beautiful.
It's a blessing and a curse. Yeah.
We don't get every of them like that, but obviously a lot of people understand the value of this stuff, but except everybody that watches my videos,
Yeah.
they don't understand.
Even like the haters too. I'm like, some of the stuff like they call me out on. What was one of them? He was like, he said something in the comments, and I liked it immediately and like commented back with emojis. Like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like, I never would have even thought to say that to somebody. That's hilarious. I was showing my wife. I was like, look what this dude. He called me something, and I was like,
Yeah, dude, they're great. Some of them are like, wow, dude, this is like a professional.
there's some smart
torture,
people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, what is your normal
But,
job? Because you're
dude,
smart.
Most of the ones that are making the comments on our pages, right? What we did, we took this particular brand called Scar, which is not known. I mean, there's a huge following,
that's
but
right. I
it's very
heard.
inexpensive.
You told me about
it's,
that, yeah.
It's only sold on the internet. So shops like me, man, we can't really mess with it. You know what I mean? We install it all the time for people that bring it to us, but we really do see a lot of issues with it and problems.
Yeah.
But we knew that it was going to touch a chord with a lot of people, and these people, and they're always the same people that are commenting just shit to me. And you look at their page, and God, I don't want this to sound horrible, but they're sitting in front of their trailer.
Oh, damn it.
And
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
I shouldn't have said that, but or they'll put a picture of their system, and it's like 212 sitting in the back seat of an F-150,
Right.
and the amp screwed to the side of it, and the wires all everywhere. And
And
they're
that's
like,
fine.
"See, this is good."
And that's fine, but at least vacuum your
Yeah.
damn floorboard. You got shit all over the floorboard.
Cigarette butts.
If you're gonna floss on us, at least just tidy up a little bit. You know what I mean?
I had a dude. I don't know if you call it what you call it when they take a portion of one of our videos and then they make a video.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a duet. I think I don't know anyway, it was me saying Scar is the worst brand, and it cuts to his system.
And it's all scarred
Bro,
up.
it was, yeah, dude, like it needed stitches. It had so much scar.
Is Scar like the old
Like
pyramid? Wasn't it pyramid back in our day?
Scar, yeah. Oh, bro, I bought so much of that shit at Big T Bazaar back
There
in the
you
day.
go,
You know, I'm
yeah.
from DeSoto, right? So
Oh,
that was,
okay.
Big T Bazaar was like,
Or what's the other
I
one?
shouldn't have been
Vicon
there.
Village? No, it's not Vicon.
no,
it's
well, I think that's in Garland.
Yeah, but what
It was Community Mart, was across 35 from Big T Bazaar.
no, what's the one that's in Grand Prairie?
Oh, Traders Village.
Traders Village.
Bro, you know,
Yeah,
man,
that's a mecca
back
right
in
there.
like when I first met my wife, man, I was living in this house in Uptown, and I was just doing whatever the hell I could do to make money. I worked at the shop that I ended up buying.
You were
later.
installing it out there.
Well,
I'm telling you.
actually, worse, bro.
No.
I bought a damn booth out there, and on Sundays, Jennifer and I would go. It was before we were even married,
that's
bro.
badass. What
We
are you
would go
talking
out
about?
there. I would build all week long during the week. I would build boxes like subwoofer
So you
boxes.
speak Spanish, is what you're saying?
No, dude, that was the problem. I
Oh,
think, I fucking amassed this like inventory of like 30 of these Bandpass boxes that I was selling for a couple $100 a piece, and I went out. I think we went out there for like 6 weeks in a row. I sold one,
Oh, damn it.
bro.
It's because you were white. I'm going
Yeah.
to say it. No, because you were
Well,
white.
it's because I think I was asking $200 for them, and there was no subwoofer in them. They were just a really well built
gotcha.
style, a Bandpass box, a tough box to build. It's not a box that, it's not an enclosure that you're gonna just get at your distributor for $100 or whatever. It's,
Yeah.
you
should have
but
moved
people
to
didn't
Vicon.
understand that shit. It wasn't maybe I could have tried Big T.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Big T would have that market. that
Big
demographic.
T, that I started going to Big T to pay my pager bill when I was 16, bro.
How old are you, Sam?
I'm 48.
You're 48.
How old are
You're
you,
my
bro?
age. That's my age.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You didn't have a pager when you were 16?
I did,
dog?
but I feel like that mine was like on some sort of. I paid it
Bro,
once a year or something.
No, dude, I had to go weekly.
Weekly, like
I
a
went
car
weekly.
note.
It was like $9 a week or something, and I would save money to make sure. Cause bro, I couldn't have my pager go down.
So were you spoiled as a kid? What's the deal? Because you're
man.
obviously doing well for yourself now. But what I'm saying is like you see the main topic is a lot of people that come from like real hard childhoods are usually they turn into something. You know what I mean? Like that. That makes them hard.
I wasn't sure. I was. I mean, my parents, they both worked their ass off, and they loved me, and they made sure I had a good growing up.
They're
But
still married.
no, they got a divorce actually when I was real young, man. I was 13. But you know what, dude? My dad ended up-
Same here.
My dad got a house in DeSoto, like a mile away, bro.
Yeah.
And I had a bike, right? And so there was like court ordered, I think, like I was supposed to be at my dad's a certain day of the week and my mom's or
Yeah.
whatever, but they had a decent relationship and they know that I could be at either one of their houses and still go to school, still see all my same friends. And so I would just ride my bike back and forth.
That's sick. Yeah.
If I, and I had everything I needed at my dad's and everything I needed at my mom's, toothbrush, I didn't have to bring anything back and forth.
Yeah.
So it was so normal to me, man. You know what I mean? Like it was normal. It was. I think I had a really good. I'm very fortunate. Very very fortunate. But I had to work though, bro. Like I started working in this industry in car audio when I was 16 years old, man.
That's the first
running a
time you
shop.
started making money, or were you like mowing lawns and stuff? That shit too?
No, man. I was actually, bro. I was selling.
Selling.
I was
what?
selling dice valve stem covers for bikes.
Hmm?
My mom bought me when I was probably 12. She bought me this like starter kit, like a retail pack that you would hang on a wall at the store and just take off. And each one of them had 2 things of dice that you'd put on your. And I would literally walk around the neighborhood, man, with a bunch
Slinging
of dice
dice.
that I was selling. I think it was like $5 a bag. Or
Never
something.
gambled or anything. Just
I
selling.
never
dice.
gambled, bro. I wasn't really much of a gambler.
Now that's a big T item right there. I bet you could sling some dice out
Oh
there.
yeah,
You could
that would have been good.
have did real good out there.
They, yeah, but Big T, man, we would literally, I would have to walk. I mean, we'd drive there, obviously, but I remember one time, man, I was me and my girlfriend at the time were walking. Like the pager part was in the very back corner of Big T, so you literally, the long
Put the meat
walk
in the
all the way
back,
across
right,
there,
yeah.
And I'm just me and her walking, and these 2 big black dudes walked up to me, and just kind of charged me up in front
Damn
of,
it.
like,
In front of your
hey,
girl?
boy, what? I'm like, come on, let's go.
Question for y'all.
What's up?
What would y'all say is the best way to raise a kid in this generation? Like, a lot of people will say, give your kid a lot of money or leave a legacy of the wealth that you give, and then once you die, give your kid all the cash, or how do you do discipline, like all that kind of stuff?
I feel. Let me check in on this. I feel like I was saying earlier, like when these kids come from struggle, and they're just, dude, they are hardened steel. By the time they're middle-aged adults and stuff like that, they've already had a rough life, and they're making sure that they're never going to go back to that. But, you know, I've raised kids multiple ways because mine are older, like in their 30s, and then I've got one that's still a teenager. So I've kind of done
How old is your teenager?
all over the spectrum. She's 17.
Okay.
So she's the baby, but I feel like I definitely have spoiled her, but she's the kid that, dude, is like so freaking smart. She's an athlete, you know, and it's just like, it's the craziest thing.
In general, kids have access to so much more knowledge than we did, right? If we wanted to learn shit, we had to read it, right?
Go find it.
Yeah, bro. We had to learn the Dewey Decimal System. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Library
Nowadays,
cards.
it's researching. It's every day. We're all researching now. We're all getting smarter every day, and I think it reflects in our kids. And you know, my son is 18, and he's I think so much more ahead of where I was at his age. You know, intelligence wise. I mean, he's just a really smart kid. You know, but he's constantly on the internet reading shit. You know. Getting in fights with his buddies on Xbox.
But all the stuff that's coming at them these days is completely different than us, bro. Like we really, I remember, you know, running from the police on dirt bikes and
bro,
you know,
if there was camera phones back when we were a kid,
oh yeah,
bro,
mailboxes. I can't tell you how many mailboxes we would just demolish.
We got time for a little story.
Surely the statute of limitations, right? Like we
Well, so did you ever? You know, a week or so after Halloween, you'd grab people's rotten pumpkins that they hadn't pulled in yet and throw them. Oh, yeah. One day we took my friend Brian's mom's minivan.
Brian again, same
different Brian.
Oh, okay, my bad.
This is we'll get into him later. DJ Whopper. He used to DJ with me back in high school when we were DJs. He worked at Burger King.
So I got,
you know?
just
so
to
DJ
interrupt.
Whopper.
Sorry, I won't throw you off schedule. But what was your DJ name?
I was DJ Freaky. I actually used to have an F tattoo on my hand that I had removed, bro.
What?
Sometimes I think,
Sam,
I shouldn't have got it removed, bro.
Sam, you are a mess.
And dude, what's so funny? I gave myself the tattoo. Right? I built a tattoo gun, gave myself a tattoo, and when I was like 16, right? My dad saw it. He's like, "What the hell is that?" I had him convinced it was a marker, and I just always would wash around it, you know, and touch it up occasionally. He had no idea it was a tattoo for years, bro.
He knows now.
yeah.
Anyways, go back. You remember?
So So we grabbed Brian's mom's minivan, and it was one of the first minivans that had sliding doors on both sides, right? So you weren't relegated to just one side, right? You could get in and out wherever you wanted to.
Gangster special,
bro. Super gangster. We couldn't smoke in it though, so it wasn't that gangster.
Not until Brian got it when he turned 16 or whatever. Or 17.
Well, he actually ended up getting a cherry red Volkswagen Cabriolet convertible.
I'm sorry,
that's
Brian.
pretty manly.
Is he playing for the other team?
No,
Can we say
bro.
That?
He's good.
He's good.
He's
still
good.
All right. Good job, Brian.
He's good. He has a few kids. Nice. So
all right, but anyway.
So anyway, we spent about an hour driving all around DeSoto, collecting as many rotten fucking pumpkins as we could.
Diligent service. That's a good service. Yeah.
And then once the sun went down, we just started driving around, and with the doors open, we would toss the pumpkins at mailboxes.
Yeah.
And we did this for about another hour until we were bored of it, and we came home, and we didn't have cell phones then.
Right.
We pull up to Brian's house. The fucking cops are out
waiting
on us.
Oh no.
And Brian's mom's standing out front, and she's like, "What have y'all been doing?" We're like, "Nothing." Well, somebody called the cops on us and gave the license plate, which is to his mom's house. So the cops knew exactly what we were doing.
That took them like 45 minutes too to do that. So what were y'all doing? Did y'all stop for food or something? Like,
man. I mean, we were gone for a couple of hours, So the cop made us go inside and get some trash bags, and he followed us around for like an hour to every house that we fucking had to clean every one of them.
I feel like things like that are what make you.
Yeah. I have not thrown a pumpkin out of mailbox since. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like what Matthew's saying. You kind of live through experiences, but these kids these days, they don't have that opportunity. Like one wrong move.
No, you're right, man.
If you're not paying attention or talk to the wrong person one time these days, especially if you're a female, made me really open my eyes to what men do for their children. Matthew was talking about kids these days, but I tell my wife all the time, and I don't know if you do with Jennifer, but I'm sorry to say her name, but I don't know if you do with her, but I tell her, like, if shit goes down with my daughter and I'm probably gonna go to prison. Like I'm probably gonna kill
It would
somebody.
be, well,
over
you
some
know,
shit like that.
Jennifer would be
Can
the
we
one
say
too.
that?
I mean, it would be tough if something ever, you know, I have a daughter. She's grown, kid. She's
Doesn't
giving me
matter
a
after
grandson.
me. Yeah, but
But Ethan is still young. You know, he's 18. He's a man, right? But dude, if anybody fucked with either one of them, it would, you know.
you just go to a deep, dark
Yeah,
place.
I don't think
you know,
that
it's
it would
weird,
even. I
right?
wouldn't even think about any. Have you seen that video? I should know this lady's name if I'm going to bring it up. But the lady whose daughter was raped and murdered, and she walks into the. I should have sent Matthew this video. I can probably find it, but she walks into the courtroom in a trench coat. I think this must have been in the early 90s or late 80s.
Is that the one where they have the video of her
fucking just
Dude,
shoots
yes.
and kills the dude,
Yeah.
and everybody just kind of lets her do it, and then kind of
And
you
she
know,
just puts the gun like calmly.
yeah, and I think they somehow let her off. Somehow, I don't think that she got fully punished like you would typically get punished if you did something like that. But
I don't
I
think you
totally
should.
understand it, bro. Yeah,
don't think you should.
Yeah, especially if they know for sure that was the one who fucking did that shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And what UFC fighter is that recently was it Junior Dos Santos or it was? And I'm sure Matthew will find and put it on screen, whatever. But it's a guy whose same thing happened to his little girl, and his little girl was like 3 or 4 years old. I can't believe I don't remember his name, but and it took a long time for him to get out of jail. And he beat the dude. I don't think he beat him to death.
No, I've
did
seen
he?
pictures of it. I don't think he died. He was swollen up like a motherfucker.
As
though,
he
bro.
should.
Yeah.
As he should.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anything should happen to him ever.
No.
You know what I mean? But where do you draw the line? You know,
I don't know, man. I mean, it's anybody that willfully does anything to anyone should be punished, right? Especially if it's your kid. I mean, and if you are acting out of protection for your children,
His name
or
Cain Velasquez.
Vasquez,
Yeah.
Cain
This guy?
Vasquez, yeah.
but yeah, any kind of violence that is from within because somebody killed your kid or tried to kill your kid, I think you should get a pass on that.
But it was obviously somebody that was close to him that had access to his daughter.
That's even worse,
And
bro.
could you imagine like what? I'm fortunate. Like my family is very put together. Like everybody has, you know, had some troubles, maybe some run-ins with the law, but when it comes to things like that, like we have each other's back. Like when it comes to our kids, my sister's kids, my brother's kids, you know, my dad would obviously give his life for us to this day and his grandkids too. But I would just, you know, being put in that position, it's just like all the shit that we deal with every day and that we chasing, you know, the success and the notoriety or whatever we're chasing, you know, just that would all just end at that moment.
Wouldn't even matter anymore.
Why would you even think of anything else? But you know, what's going on? You know,
Are you pulling it up?
No, that is.
Cain
it.
Velasquez
See,
pleads
pleads
no
no.
contest to attempted murder of man charged with molesting his son.
oh, it's his son.
So yeah, dude didn't die, but no contest is kind of like I did it, man. I mean, what the fuck do you want me to say? I did it. The dude tried to fucking molest my son. Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And you blame yourself as a parent, I'm sure. Like, what could I have done?
Yeah.
I could have seen
Do you,
it.
have you heard the story of? I mean, this must have been fucking brutal, but of Mike Tyson's daughter getting strangled. I swear, and I don't want to say anything wrong, right? But I swear I heard a story, and I should have. Maybe Matthew can pull this up, but I want to say she died on like in a freak accident on a treadmill or something with a cable wrapped around her neck, and he had like just stepped out of the room for a minute and came. I mean, you imagine that shit, and maybe I'm completely there. We go after hanging accident. Yeah.
Wow.
In 2009. Life support.
Dude, that's horrible.
Yeah. She was playing on the treadmill. There's a cord that hangs under the console. It's kind of a loop. Either she slipped and put her head in the loop, but it acted like a noose. Oh, and she was not able to get off of it, bro. You imagine walking back into the fucking room, dude. Oh my God. You know, similar thing. God, totally different. Nowhere near that bad. But my poor daughter.
It says Tyson wasn't even there. He was in Vegas.
Wow, bro. Oh, and think of the animosity he must have to whoever was keeping the kids at the time. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You let my daughter get on a...
You still blame yourself, though. I mean, as a parent, you're still going to blame yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my daughter had a really crazy incident with a dog a while back where they had just gotten a new puppy for my grandson, right? And they're trying to get acclimated to this new puppy, potty training it or whatever, and they had it in a kennel. in the bathroom, but she felt bad about it being locked up in the kennel. So she's like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it in the bathroom and leave the kennel open with a towel in there so we can. Well, they went, I don't know, out to eat or something one night, came back home. And when they got home, they realized the dog wasn't going crazy like it normally does when it hears them come home. They opened the door to the bathroom. He's hanging from the door handle. He had jumped up and his collar had fucking had gotten, attached to the doorknob.
Yeah,
and
I've seen that. Yeah.
Killed him.
I've seen those videos now where they're like, if you're going to leave your dog at home, make sure you take their collars
Yes,
off.
bro. Yeah.
Who
And ever
thinks
since
of
that,
that, though? Who
I
thinks
know,
of that?
right? I mean, God, bro. She thought she was, help giving the dog, hey, look, you got more room now. It's going to be better, because she felt so bad about getting it cooped up in the kennel. But
Yeah.
the way we trained our dogs was leaving them in that damn kennel, though, dude. And now they love it. That's like their safe space.
Yeah.
Like
their house.
Yeah.
I feel like we grew up in the best era because we didn't have cell phones, and then we've seen cell phones. We didn't have internet. Now we've seen internet. So we're kind of savvy both ways. Like, especially for what you do for a living, you're always messing with tech stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm always.
Well, yeah, dude. The cars you get to fucking pull in here and check out, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the evolution of cars just over the past 5 years, bro. A Kia now comes with a 12-inch screen in it, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's gonna be a point, in the hopefully not too near future where we're always gonna be able to tint and paint protect cars.
Yeah.
But once anything from like 2020 down gets kind of weeded out, and it's just too old for people to. These new cars coming out, they have such good head units. I think the head unit market is really going to suffer, man. We're going to still be able to enhance the sound quality,
right.
But why put a better radio in it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like your truck, bro. There's no reason to, and it's just, I think the 8-inch screen in there,
It's a little one, yeah.
but it does everything, and it's the same size as what an aftermarket radio would be, unless you spent $2,000 on a larger one, but.
That's what I wanted to do. Like, whenever I wanted to get the one like yours, and,
Yeah.
have the whole interface. But the problem with that is it's nice, and you're going to spend a grip like $2,000 or $3,000, but it's not going to be seamless. It's always going to have a glitch here and there.
Well, you're right, but and I'm always having to educate people on how they work. I've figured it out. Like the one in my truck, its main reason of being a radio is to be a tablet. Like it's a tablet.
Yeah.
So as long as you use it that way. But when you start trying to do wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto and, it freaks it out and it just can't, it doesn't have the processing power to do it. So I just literally turn my hotspot on my phone and I have all my apps on that screen and I don't even use Apple Car. Well, I don't have an Apple phone, but I don't use Android Auto,
One of those.
And if you do that, these things are badass. They work great, but people are so geared to wanting to do Apple CarPlay. And these, and then the problem with that is if your phone starts to glitch, which our phones aren't perfect, right? They blame the radio, right? Because they just spent all this money on this radio and they're like, God damn it, this radio's a piece of shit.
Right.
And then I'll plug my phone into it and it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, sometimes you have to reset your phone, dude.
Yeah, not to stay on the subject, but I'll give you the horror radio story, and it had to do with your shop.
Oh, God.
You guys, yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was whenever you had, what's his face? He's a golf cart guy now. Super great guy, by the way. Like, I know he was kind of, y'all didn't work out. He's not there anymore.
No,
but
he was very nice to me.
I feel like
man. He's a good dude.
he kind of coached me through my Karen moment whenever I was dealing with this. Is you guys put in something? It was it was some device for either like stream while you're driving or something.
Shit.
But
yeah, dude.
it goes to Google, so it goes to your dark side. You have to all those devices run off of Google for some reason. It's fucking stupid. But anyways, it ended up like mobbing all of my contacts out of my phone. I don't know about
think I
you, but I have
remember
like
that, bro.
3,000 contacts in my phone, right?
That would fucking kill me.
And that's
bro.
my livelihood because when people call me, I like to be able to say, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, how are you?
Yeah.
How's the Porsche or how's the Ferrari?"
Yeah.
And all that
Address
was
them by name when they
gone,
call,
bro.
you
It was
know?
gone. It ruined my whole
Then you're like,
day.
they text you, you're like, new phone, who dis?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, fuck.
It was horrible. And some of my phone calls are big money calls. Not like we're moving big deals, but it could be an $8,000 or $9,000,
Well, bro,
$10,000
every
call.
one of your jobs is a big money job.
Not
though,
necessarily, but I'm just saying like that phone, like, dude, having my phone off on Do Not Disturb right now is like seriously giving me anxiety. I'm trying to deal with it.
It literally just killed all your fucking contacts?
Yes.
Holy shit,
It
dude.
took
What-
some
how- what
Google
did-
because I have no Google contacts at the time, and it took all those and put them on, and it erased them out of my phone.
There was no saving. They
No,
weren't on the unit?
What
or-
I ended up doing is having to go back onto the cloud. Luckily, I had them on my cloud
shit, man.
and redo everything, dude. It was horrible. Your boy wanted to cry a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you ever do any business with Ryan?
Yeah,
You did?
that was a crazy story.
That
bro.
motherfucker there, bro.
And you know-
I'm not supposed to have any contact with him, but I can talk shit
We can
about
talk
him. I
about
think.
it? Are you
Fuck
sure?
yeah, why
Okay,
not, bro?
so-
He stole $140,000 from
Dude,
us.
I never would have guessed it. I never, like, 'cause I didn't know you then. I knew Sam was the owner. I thought Ryan was the owner because he was literally always there all the time.
Yeah.
But whenever all that went down and you told me what happened, I was like, dude, I'm so glad because I would never give him cash anyway because
Did
this
he
is-
ever ask you for cash?
No, never.
Okay.
But I think he knew that because he knew that, we're an upstanding business. We're not
Yeah.
going to do shady shit like that.
Yeah.
And, dude, when you told me about that, I was just like, if someone stole that kind of money from me, I would take that shit personal, dude.
Well, bro,
How
when
do
I
you-
found out about it, he's lucky, and I'm lucky, really.
Can
That
you explain the situation?
yeah. So I had this dude that was working for me. Ryan, his name's Ryan, and anybody.
Clean cut, dude, too. Like,
Yeah,
he seems,
dude. Well, so he was actually working at a distributor that went out of business, and I fucking felt bad for the dude, right?
Mhm.
Because he was young. He was like 18 or 19 then. It was like a after high school job at first, and then it turned into his job, and he was a picker in a warehouse, right?
nice.
But he got to know me, and he would be cordial, and right around the time Sunbelt, the company he was working for, went out of business, I really needed a runner. And Jennifer was like, "Why don't you fucking call that dude Ryan at Sunbelt?" I'm like,
So it's Jennifer's
"Oh,
fault.
man." I
Sorry,
mean, it was
Jennifer.
great though, dude. She like, or he really was I mean, he was great. He was running errands and that's kind of all he was doing. I wasn't paying him much. Well, one day I was tied up with a customer and another customer came in and Ryan ended up selling the dude like a $800 tent job. And he did it great. It sounded great. I was proud of him. I'm like, holy shit, this
Good
dude
job,
could
yeah.
sell, you
Yeah.
know? And this was when I think this was before we were doing anything with you. I was down south of
On Midway,
Beltline
yeah.
on Midway.
Yeah.
And so he kind of turned into like, I just started training him and teaching him and, and shaping him into a salesman that I wanted him to be. And he was great. Paid him well, and started trusting him. The dude had keys to our house.
Damn it.
He would every time we went on vacation, he would either literally stay at our house or go there 2 or 3 times a day.
Dude,
and
how
feed the
jealous
dogs.
was Matt at this?
Matt wasn't in the picture. Matt was still working for Seraphim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
This
immediately
was like
thinking
in
you,
the
Matt.
teen,
Sorry.
like-
Go ahead. Anyway, sorry. Good job.
So anyway, we had another dude, this dude named Chad Ray, that was running my McKinney store, and this motherfucker started doing side jobs out of my store. Customers would come in and hey, how much is tent? Well, it's $3.99. But here's my card. I'll do it at my house for $200.
Yeah.
And I know this for sure because I actually contacted some of our customers that I knew he was close with, and they're like, yeah, man. I'm sorry. He said you knew about it. I just would, sometimes I found out they would even come and leave a car there at the shop on a Saturday around the corner. So if I was there, I wouldn't see it.
What?
And Chad's wife, or he would Uber, probably not Uber, I guess his wife would drop him off to work that morning and he would drive the customer's car home, tent the car in his garage the next day, and the customer would come pick it up. And it pisses me off that the customers would letting that happen too. It's like, mother,
They
this
know
is some
that
shady
shit.
shit, bro. Like, what are you letting this kid do,
I wouldn't leave my keys with someone like
Dude,
that. I don't care what kind of car.
Jennifer calls me one day, and Chad was running my McKinney store. I was running this store here, and Jennifer calls me, and Chad was off, and I had to go work at the McKinney store.
Mm-hmm.
And Jennifer's like, "Hey, Google Prestige window tent real quick." I'm like, what? Yeah, actually, get on Facebook and search it up. And I got on Facebook, and it was a fucking window tent shop out of this dude's garage that he was totally just, promoting and shit.
Yeah.
So I call him. I'm like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Prestige window tent?" He's like, "Oh, yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, you're fired, bro. I'm sorry." But, so right then, all of a sudden, I'm in McKinney, and I had to leave Ryan, down here.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't even worry about it. I'm like, and I think this was in 21 when that happened.
Okay.
No, probably in 20 when that happened.
20 was a crazy ass year.
Yeah. So,
Right.
and this was before Matt. Still, me and Matt had always been friends because since he worked for Seraphim, we did all their window tent and all their car audio and shit. And so he would always bring me cars. I've known him forever.
Yeah.
Well, when that happened, I realized that, fuck, dude, I can't just stay in this one spot. I need to get somebody here, train them so I can float back and forth. That was the whole deal. Well, Matt and I get along. We're buddies, So
Yeah.
whenever I got him over there to McKinney and I got him trained up, Ryan was still doing okay up here. I didn't know he was fucking stealing from me yet, right? He was stealing just enough to where it wouldn't really, we would still have good days, right? Like, if we had a $6,000 day and he stole $500 and it was a $5,500 day, I'm still like, well, it's a good day, a decent day.
Yeah.
And I would just kind of glance at the cover sheet of the daily totals and everything looked normal, you know what I mean? And so horrible mistake, right? But I spent about 6 months really training Matt. He's always been on the wholesale side of business. He never really had to deal with as many retail people as we deal with now, and the way we do shit. And I wanted to and Jennifer kind of helped train him. But even after we were done training him, I enjoyed hanging out with him. And that store was so close to my house. I would, and that's where my mistake was. I let Ryan by himself, and during that time, and it was November so I started noticing, like in the summer of 21, that whenever I would meet up with Ryan during the week to get cash, it was light. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How come we're not bringing in as much cash?
Like a mob scene or something.
He's like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm trying. I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to come down on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's running my store, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to. So about a month after I kind of confronted him about that, Annabelle, you remember Annabelle? She came by to drop off something to the McKinney store, and I asked her, I'm like, what's going on, man? You guys ain't bringing in much cash anymore. And she goes, well, I know he's been doing a lot of Cash App. And I'm like, what? And she's like, oh my God, are we not supposed to do that? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. Yeah, everything's fine. Because I didn't want her to go back and let the cat out of the bag that I know what's going on.
I don't
right?
think she was like that anyway.
But so anyway, I showed up at the shop the next day. And dude, his face was like white as a ghost when I walked in. And I went straight to the office, opened up my file cabinet, grabbed a random day. It was November of 21, like the end of November 29th, actually. And I grabbed a random file out of November, and there was like $1,200 cash missing that day. And he was so stupid in a way to how he did it. He would leave all the invoices in there and leave all the totals, everything the customers truly paid in there. I think he did that in case I ever needed to pull a ticket. There wouldn't be any discrepancies. Customers like, wait a second, I didn't pay $800. I paid $15. Whatever. There wouldn't be any discrepancy. Yeah. But what he would do is on the cover sheet, he would just misadd the cash amount. So say if we took in $1,200 cash for real, that's accounted for in the package, he would write that we took in $500 cash. Right. And so it was super easy to find. Like I pulled a random day, and I'm like, okay, we did, $1,200, just whatever. And I figured out, holy shit, there's fucking money missing. Yeah. So I call him into the office. I'm like, bro, what is this? And he had a perfect explanation. It's like he was ready to go. He's like, oh, this customer came in a couple of weeks ago, put a deposit down. So that cash, even though it shows it here, it was already given to us. So I reflected it on this day because this is when we did the work. I'm like, all right, I guess that makes sense. He went back up front. I grabbed another day, and there was like $1,000 missing that day. I'm like, what the fuck? So I quickly went through the whole month of November. It was 10 grand. 10 grand gone just that 1 month. And the month wasn't even over. It was the 29th, right? Yeah. So I go up front, and right away, bro, he knew what was up. I'm like, fucking $10,000 in November, bro? $10,000? He took his gun off that I had given him. I gave him a little Glock 43, set it on the counter, took his watch off. He had a Submariner that I had given him, bro. Took his watch off, handed me the watch, said, I'm so sorry. I hit a really rough patch gambling. And he left. I'm like, you got to get, but I think had I known it was $143,000 fucking dollars at that moment, right? I don't know that I would have been able to compose myself, bro. I mean, it took me and Annabelle probably 4 months of going through everything. I called the detectives right away, and they sent a really cool detective over, and he's like, look, we can file charges right now. We'll go get him. Yeah. You've presented enough evidence, but it's only going to be for $10,000. You need to show as much as you can, but be, legit accurate about it, right? Yeah, because I don't want this to go to court and then they find that there was a discrepancy in what I provided. Right. So obviously he stole way more than $143,000. $143,000 is what he stole with cash, Cash App, and Venmo. Wow. So the detective was able to subpoena his Cash App and Venmo, and I had to basically go. I mean, it was crazy. It was like, who the fuck? What individual that doesn't own a business is getting hundreds of deposits in his Cash App and Venmo from just random individuals. You know what
Right.
I mean? It would be like 800, 300, 400, you know. But I had to basically reconcile everybody on the list of his Cash App and Venmo transactions to people in our system. They were all fucking there, bro. Every one of these people that had given him money. So it was like 40 grand in electronic payments to him.
Yeah.
And 100, it was wasn't that exactly split, but yeah, it was majority cash.
Right.
But then a whole lot of Cash App and Venmo. You know, but see what people don't realize, I mean, business people realize this, right? Everything that he was giving away, and I say giving away because I wasn't getting the money, the store wasn't getting the money, he was. I had to buy all that shit.
So you're
right?
double hit.
Yeah, bro. Like there's cost involved in everything he
And
stole.
you had to pay your guys to install
and I was
that.
paying him. Fuck, that dude was making, I mean, I don't want to say how much he was making, but it was way too much to be paying him for what he was, I mean,
Right.
he shouldn't have been, he must have had a really bad gambling problem, bro. I mean, it's you know,
Or a drug problem.
I don't, you know, I thought that, but he never came across that way, you know. When I popped up in the hearing on the 4th of December, I knew that was his sentencing. And it looked like he had a rough night the night before, man.
Really?
I mean, I was like, wouldn't even look at me, bro. Wouldn't, you know.
Well, you were the bigger person by not getting physical with the guy, and I don't want to put salt in the wounds, but imagine how much the real amount is, because you know some of those jobs that were people that didn't need a receipt, that paid cash. And I don't need a receipt. Sorry to bring it
I
up,
think
but-
it's not an exaggeration to say it was $500,000.
Wow.
You know, I mean, because I only went back 1 year. I could only stomach 1 year, bro. I just was, you know, but he was up there by himself for about a year and a half. So like, did he just start doing it January 1st of 2021? Of course not.
Yeah.
You know?
His New Year's resolution.
Yeah. I'm going to steal from
Yeah,
Sam.
I'm gonna be fucking in a
Yeah.
bag.
Dude. So yeah, that's the story, man. And
Well, shout
it's-
out to him, and shout out to Carrollton PD too, because dude,
Yeah. Oh,
they're
bro.
on top of shit out here.
It's
I feel
you
like.
know, I got the paperwork from the adult supervision of his scheduled payments to me. Haven't got a payment yet, right? They're demanding he pays me $4,000 a month. bro.
Nice.
I don't know, you know, but
He'll just never get off probation until
yeah,
he does, right?
But I called them last week, and as of last week, now I don't know how long it takes for reporting to take place at a you know, detention centers like that or probation centers, but he hadn't even gone in for his first fucking probation meeting, and he's supposed to be paying them a certain amount a month,
Yeah.
plus doing community service,
To stay
plus
out of
giving
jail.
me, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't expect to see a penny of it, and if I get some, great, you know. But yeah, I mean, that was a eye-opening experience. That's probably one of the main reasons I sold the McKinney store, man.
Yeah, I remember that. To
I just
recoup.
was like that, and just to not expose myself like that again, you know.
Stay at home base,
Yeah, just be there.
be at two
you know?
places.
Yeah.
Dude, like I was saying, shout out to Carrollton PD though, man. Those guys, I
Yeah.
remember them dealing with you. Like it seemed like that detective was up there all the time.
Oh, he was, bro. He would text me. The morning I got a text of him shoving Ryan's ass into the fucking cop car was awesome.
Yeah.
It's like you could see Officer or Detective Huckabee's hand on Ryan's head, and you could tell he's like holding his camera, like a picture of it.
Make
And then
you feel better.
he sent me a picture of him in the interrogation room, and then he called me afterwards. I'm like, well, did he just fucking admit to it? And he's like, I mean, he's not saying he didn't do. I mean, you know, you gave us an absorbent amount of evidence. You know,
Yeah.
literally, I gave them 5 3-inch 3-ring binders that were completely full. I mean, it
Receipts.
was fucking every day he was doing it, dude.
Wow.
And you know, we have on average depending on the time of the year, between 200 and 300 customers a month. And so, yeah, dude, I mean, there's a lot of invoices, and on every fucking one, dude. And it's a deep wound, dude. Sometimes people still come in, bro. I've literally in the past probably month, hey, man, was Ryan out here? He used to give me really good deals. I'm like,
Yeah, because
oh,
he was
God.
discounting stuff just to get the cash, I'm sure.
Yeah, because he didn't care.
Yeah.
And I found out that all of my guys in the back, bro, they weren't getting to work till like 9:45, 10 o'clock. You know, he didn't give a shit, you know.
Well, just so everybody knows, like Sam and I are real close to each other. We actually have our own businesses are on the same street pretty much. So, you know, we're local guys to each other. We're pretty much in tune what's going on over here. And this area that we're in is very fortunate. Like it's a great area for used cars, exotic cars, and for what we do, it's great for us. But It can be a little crazy. We've only had one issue where I'm at down here. I don't really do a bunch of stuff off the street, so I'm kind of hidden down at the end of the street. But it was in the middle of the day one day, and just like on a Wednesday or some shit. And I'm outside chilling by my wife's car, and I'm just sitting there, and I see a car pull up. Well, it grabbed my attention. There's cars over here all the time. It grabbed my attention because he pulled up, and he backed up right next to one of my employees' cars.
Yeah.
Like right in front of it. And a young man of African descent jumps out of the car, and it's like he's gonna, try to steal my employee's truck, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah. So your boy here, being the dumbass that I am, my first reaction is to be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Just a stupid ass reaction, right? And I'm like you, I always have my gun on me, always, and like it's like part of my body. So my dumbass is walking in the middle of the street, walking up on them. I don't have my gun drawn or anything. I just have my hand back there, and they jump in their car and they dip out. Well, I'm on the cul-de-sac at the very end, so he has to come right back behind me again. So I'm sitting there in the middle of the street, and as I'm watching them, there's 4 of them in the car, 4 guys in the car, and as they have the windows down, and as he's driving by, he raises a Glock.
What?
And I heard him dry fire it.
What the
So I don't know if it just didn't go off. I don't know if he intentionally dry fired at me or what. But when I saw him lift, I reached and I lifted.
Yeah.
And that hesitation, that split second, like I could have took him.
Yeah.
I could have took that shot and took him, but I waited basically for him to shoot first, right?
Yeah.
So I was immediately, and it just didn't really hit me that like I could have just died right there.
Was it at this location?
This location
Holy shit,
in the middle of the day, right? So naturally, my wife's here, and she's like, call the cops. And literally, like I'm saying, shout out to Carrollton PD. Those dudes are on point, bro. He got here so quick, and they pulled cameras, and they did everything. Well, it come to find out, these cats were on a freaking terror. They have already stolen cars. They had already shot a guy at a vape shop. So they're on a crime spree. They've already committed like 4 or 5 other felonies. Bro, your boy here was about to be, part of that,
bro,
or
that's
one of them was
crazy.
about to be part of it.
You know what's so fucked up about it, bro? If he would have shot,
it would have been 30 grand.
and you would have shot,
to get out of jail.
and and then if you would have hit him and he didn't die, he's gonna sue you.
Oh yeah.
If he does die, his family's gonna sue you.
Oh yeah.
It's bro. The fact that there's attorneys that will take cases like that too, it just kills me, bro. I can't even believe we let that kind of stuff go down. You break into somebody's house, cut your hand on the glass in their window, and you get to sue them.
Yeah, because you're breaking in.
They
their
weren't
house,
using. They didn't have safety glass. What the fuck? Hell,
What kind of business is this? So moral of the story is, kids, like, be smart, because if not, you're going to be a dumb criminal. Like, these criminals are not fucking smart at all. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And some of these cats are like, some of these criminals are actually working so hard. It's like, if you just put that into like a real job and had like a real career, like you would be successful because you have amazing drive. But why are you
imagine
doing
these
crooked
credit
shit?
card scammers, bro.
Or just, for
Or
instance,
dude, you've been in there before probably when we get, I don't know why we're targeted so bad with the scam calls. And I think it's because I fuck with them pretty hard.
Definitely. They put
And
you
I'm
on the
on
list.
the list.
Yeah, they put you on.
We go
I've
hard
heard
on
you.
them, bro.
No, I've heard you.
And but
That's wrong, by the way.
Obviously, they're making money, right? Or they wouldn't be making all these calls. Who the fuck are they fooling, bro?
Where is the money coming from?
I know.
Like, what's the reason?
Dude. What I've been getting a lot more lately is the Amazon scam. Like it's a recording. Hey, somebody just charged $1,100 for an Apple computer on your credit card that's attached to Amazon.
Yeah.
Please hold to talk to a representative. Well, I always hold.
Dude, not me.
I always hold, and I'm like, what? Yeah. What do I got to do?
Yeah. I'm sending you my number now. I just want to
see how far it goes. I'm like, what are they doing, dude? Like okay, I'm going to give you my number so you can refund me the money that was never taken.
I'll have to admit, like those scammer payback videos.
Oh, those are
I
awesome,
cannot
bro.
quit watching those where he shows them like pictures of them on their computer and stuff like that. I love that.
He'll start describing their room, and they're like,
yes. What the fuck? And then they talking to each other like, this motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, bro, those are pretty good.
Dude, I think after 2020, a lot of shit has changed. Like a lot of people don't believe anything now.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything from
God, dude, I know. I know. That's I was really hoping Pam Bondi was going to come in and completely release everything. I don't know what the fuck went on there, bro. It's like they released this phase 1 that has less information in it than what was already on the fucking internet.
It was all redacted.
It's
Yeah,
so
it didn't
weird.
make any sense.
And then they made a spectacle out of it and gave it to certain content creators.
Yeah, Israeli content creators.
Oh yeah,
Pro-Israel content creators.
It's so wild. It's
What's
like,
the deal? Like, I'm not a smart man. I put clear stickers on for a living, but what is the deal with Israel? Like, I don't understand the connection. Like, where is it? Just because they own so much of our country, why they have so much control of us?
Man, I don't know, man. They must have a lot of dirt.
Because sorry to cut you off. You saw our boy Ian on Joe Rogan, dude.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that. I feel like that they could have gone like a whole nother 3 hours, but Joe was just like, I can't handle it anymore. He's giving me so much bad shit. It's just like, I got to go take a pill or something.
Did you watch the podcast earlier that week that Ian Carroll put on by himself right before he went?
Talking about the Israel
Bro,
stuff.
that is some crazy shit, man. And I love the way he prefaces, look, man, I'm not against Jews. Man, I'm not. This has nothing to do with that. This is about a government that has really corrupt parts of that is they're doing awful shit to Americans primarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have our, I guess the Mossad is what you would call them, right? But we have our CIA, which probably are doing the same shit to them. We probably have all sorts of dirt on some of their, I don't know. It's just it's a weird deal. It's almost like the Pam Bondi and Kash Patel wanting to release all this, and somebody told them, you better fucking not release this shit.
Right.
Like Kash Patel of all people, I thought he was going to come in and just fucking let it all fly. I mean, he's been telling us that. He's been going on podcasts.
Yeah.
And so something changed. They found out about something that they don't want anybody else to know about. And it probably does have something to do with Israel, that I don't know, man.
It's all about money. We know that. It's always about money and people's access to money, for not doing anything. And the fact that all of our Congress people are millionaires on those salaries tells you that they're obviously doing crooked shit.
Yeah.
So, and if we were to do that crooked shit, we would be in prison.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. They're worried about everything we do, but they're just doing it to us, and we're supposed to just put up with it.
Well, yeah, and exactly. Like guys like you and I that have to pay our own taxes.
Yeah.
We always knew they were wasting money, but now we see what the fuck has really been going on.
Yeah.
And we've been having to fucking scrap and save and fucking make sure we're doing everything right and crossing all the I's and dotting the T's, and then they're just giving $60,000 for circumcisions in Zimbabwe or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just did a search and it's on ChatGPT. It said 90% of Congress members are millionaires.
Oh, 90%.
90%.
Check me,
But I wonder if we can find out if they were millionaires before entering
Absolutely not.
Congress.
Absolutely not. You know that.
Yeah.
Just like Nancy Pelosi, she's like a better stock scores than Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious?
Yeah,
Like,
I think Elon said she should teach classes on picking stocks.
yeah, her and her husband too. Isn't he? He's like some stock savant.
He's weird, bro.
Yeah.
You remember that thing
The
that happened?
video?
Well, the dude that supposedly broke in was trying to
With the hammer.
and his boxer shorts.
Dude,
Like,
yeah.
what is going on?
I know, and I know it's easy to laugh at, but what wasn't easy to laugh at is like the audio. Did you hear the audio of that dude actually hitting him with the hammer?
Oh, it was horrible,
Dude.
He hit the shit, and obviously, I don't know, dude. It was really weird. Like the guy apparently had been there many times.
Obviously, it was his boy.
Dude.
Hit him with the hammer, not in a good way.
Because he needed the wrong hammer,
The wrong end of the hammer.
But was it to make it seem like he was really just an intruder? Like, you got to look like an intruder. Hit me with a hammer.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like that they're this Manchurian candidate shit that the government's doing to some of these people, just like the guy that tried to kill Trump.
Thomas Crooks, the one that dude, there's a
What's
lot
the
of
deal
crazy
with
shit
that?
coming out with that. Yeah,
His apartment had no silverware in it. It's like, oh, okay.
And who's gonna pull off a stunt like he was trying to pull off and not leave any manifesto? You're not gonna. He told people at work on Friday, "I'll see you Monday." Like it was almost like he was activated, bro.
Yeah,
to
that's what
do
I'm saying.
it. Yeah.
Like a Manchurian candidate type shit. Where
for sure.
They give you, and it makes me think too, is that why they got rid of his body so quick? Because they didn't want him to be
crazy,
tested for
bro.
what's in his system?
Well, and I remember hearing stories about, they found like 3 bank accounts attached to him that totaled like $1.5 million.
Because we all have that.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course. I mean, but it's so insane that's just, and the fact that everybody in the fucking crowd saw this dude shimmying up the
with
roof.
the rangefinder.
Oh my God, dude.
Make it make
You know what I
sense.
heard last night too, man? That rally in Butler that day was not only the first time that CNN, I knew this, it was the first time that CNN ever live streamed any Trump rally ever.
Coincidental,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, like that's the first time they've ever done it.
The only one too, I'm sure.
And it's the first time Trump ever had Secret Service detail snipers on the roof behind him. It's almost like they knew this was going to happen. Like, this dude's going to take a shot. You shoot him right away in case, you know what I mean? So he can't say shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it would just happen to be the time. But yet they didn't put anybody on that fucking roof, which was obviously a roof you'd want to cover.
Right.
Nobody's there.
Right.
And at the time that it happened, all of the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agents were congregating in that building. But apparently they had all just walked out of that building at the time that he gets up, because if they just looked out the window, they would have seen him running across the roof. You know, their window was like level with where he was at on the building.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be out there to protect that.
Yeah,
to secure
dude,
that.
It's too slanted.
Yeah.
Remember, it was too slanted. And all those videos started coming out of like cows standing on roofs that had a steeper slant.
Right. You know, and these guys, you know, it's the military guys or the Secret Service guys. I feel like they're getting a bad rap. Like, they're caught up in. There's got to be good ones and there's bad ones, but I feel like that's the money, man. I feel like that some people that don't have money, it's just easy for them to go against their values just to get money. You know, they feel like that's going to take the struggle out of their life. When in all actuality, I feel like that these people in politics that are getting this easy money are paying for it with their lives. You know what I mean? I'd rather be broke and not have to worry about somebody popping me.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Or popping one of my family
man.
members. You know?
Yeah.
Just like what was it? Obama's chef, his personal chef, drowned.
God,
you
bro,
know,
in 4 foot of water or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't he like a diver of some
yeah,
sort?
like a pro swimmer.
Swimmer, yeah.
That
makes
dude.
total sense. It's just he saw some shit. He saw Michael walking through in the morning with the hammer out, and probably snapped a pic of it or something. Big Mike.
Oh man, yeah. There's it's pretty wild. The whole Thomas Crook thing. I hope that we get a chance to actually get to the bottom of that. But we won't. And and then again, like at Trump's speech the other night, he's talking about Corey Capitone, or the gentleman that died, right? And they don't, his wife's there. They're acknowledging her, you know what I mean? And they don't fucking lift a finger. They don't stand and clap for her. They don't, and it's just because it's associated with Trump. If that dude had died at a Biden rally, they'd be all over the world. They'd be clapping and hooting and hollering. It's fucking disgusting.
Yes,
bro.
blue no matter who.
Yeah.
They're them against us. And, And
They
really, I
have
was
to-
never even part of that. It's like I never even wanted to be a part of us or them. It's like I just see it for what it is. I want to take care of my family. I want everybody to have healthy food, healthy air to breathe, and it's just now it's.
I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. Like, make America great again. How can you take anything bad out of that? Make America healthy again. What in the world is bad about any of that?
Or they'll see the Dems will see somebody wearing a MAGA hat and they'll
They'll
just rip
tackle,
it off
bro.
their head
Just
and
throw
stuff like
Coke in their face.
It's like, how is that okay?
I haven't worn a MAGA hat in public. I would now. I think I just don't have one, right? I mean, I would do it but if somebody did something like that to me, I would fucking flip out, bro.
Yeah.
Like Coke in the face while you're sitting at a restaurant drinking because the hat you're fucking wearing.
Well,
dude.
the elephant in the room with us is that we're business owners, so we're
we gotta,
under the microscope. We'll probably pay the price for some of the stuff we're saying today, but hopefully the customers in class that we have kind of feel the same way. That we just don't want to give our money away to people that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have somebody just stealing money from the U.S. and then we don't have the support we need here.
Yeah.
Like the people that need food, the people that need money, it's just not available to them.
Yeah.
But somebody
you
that
gotta
bring from
wonder,
another country can get it.
All this fucking money we're giving away to all these other countries for all these bullshit reasons. Are those countries really getting that money? Or is that money going to black projects maybe?
Absolutely.
Or
just like shit that we don't know about.
So that's what's crazy. It's like there's no way they paid $20 million for an Iraqi version of Sesame Street, right?
No,
there's no way.
No.
I mean,
there's no receipts for anything. They would just send money out, and there's no invoice for it.
Yeah,
like shit that if we did with our business,
like no originating check ID. They literally were just writing checks, not even looking at their account. There wasn't an account to look at.
They
it's just
wanted
infinite.
it that way. That's how it needed to be for them to steal millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah,
but if we were to do that, boy, shit, you'd be locked up forever. They would lock your dad up too, probably.
Man, what about our armed forces protecting all the opium fields in Afghanistan.
Dude,
for all these
that's
years.
nuts. How come we never even thought of that?
No, bro. You know, yeah.
It makes sense
And
because where
it
are they getting
coincides with the opium epidemic here.
Yes,
dude.
Well, it makes sense because where are they getting all the opium for
Yeah.
the opiates that?
Because they're derived from real
Opium,
yeah.
yeah.
Dude.
How did we never even think of that?
I know, bro.
What was that on? Was that on Rogan as
I
well?
think I might have caught a little bit of that on
Joe's?
Rogan.
Yeah. Was that him and Ian talking about it?
I think so.
Dude, I was like
Yeah.
a dream with those two on there. I've always followed him,
Dude.
even on his cancel whatever. his
Yeah,
other
that's
stuff
where
is, this-
Jennifer actually showed me that dude, bro. I had never heard of him. Like a year ago, she showed me.
He's smart.
He's
bro.
awesome, bro.
He's
And he
fucking
retains information differently,
smart. Dude, like a
man.
computer.
And he's young, dude. He's so young, and he's only been doing this for a couple of years. He's
Yeah.
talking about like before COVID, he was
Just
hanging
happy.
out with all of his liberal buddies.
Yeah.
and not
Part
know
of
what I
the
mean.
crew.
All he really was into was ancient technology shit. But he was a liberal. He didn't think, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But see, people's idea of liberal used to be different. It was a caring, giving person. But it doesn't seem like that's what it is anymore. Otherwise, these fuckers would have been clapping at Trump's speech whenever he's talking about heartwarming shit,
Yeah.
you know?
And for women, too. It's like, you're not.
Oh,
He's
my
trying to
God,
protect
bro.
women's sports. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you have
my
anything
God,
to
dude.
go against men
Well,
going against
when
women?
you have
Like,
a man who's posing as a woman and gets in a weightlifting competition and beats the next closest woman by over 500 pounds, what are we doing?
make it
man?
make sense. Yeah. What are we doing?
I mean, at least, you know, if you're going to allow that, at least find a woman that stacks up to this dude. And if you can't, hey man, you can't participate now, you know?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a joke. None of that shit should be going down. It's all fucking mental illness.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. You know, my daughter's going to play college softball, and we visited the school and talked to her coach, and he's a great
Did you ask
dude.
him about the?
No, I didn't. We didn't bring any of that up. But it makes you wonder, like, what would you do if your kid was directly involved in a situation like
dude.
that, especially if it's a contact sport?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, I think it was volleyball. The chick that got just destroyed in the volleyball game by that dude
Did she get a
spiking her in the face.
concussion or something? Or-
Dude, she had to, like learn
brain
how to
damage?
walk again. Lost like mobility on half of her body, and you know, that, again, it's like me or you. It's literally can be compared to you or I playing football against 10-year-olds.
Yeah, a little kid. Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And it's okay.
Yeah. Hey, you know, he thinks he's a 10-year-old. Leave him alone.
And what would have happened, A, if they would have assassinated Trump,
Oh, bro.
or B,
That's what I was about to
that he
mention.
wasn't elected? Like now, like would we even be having this podcast? do you
Probably
think?
not, dude. No, man. I think that you can trace it all back to Elon and X, you know,
When he bought Twitter.
and then Trump not being murdered, bro. I mean, if they literally had him framed out in HD, thinking that we were going to get JFK 2.0 explosion of a head in front of everybody, so they can just say, "Hey, sorry, your leader's dead," you know.
And didn't people die behind him?
Yeah, dude, that was Corey. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but Capritori, I
Too?
think.
How is that okay?
It's
And how do we not have answers? They'll have a press conference if anything happens to some purple-haired person, but
yeah.
this is the president that they're trying to kill.
I've heard a lot of crazy shit. Like he had IEDs in his car
Yeah.
that were remote controlled,
Yeah.
but he didn't have the controller on him. Who had the fucking controller?
They were covering. That's their cover.
Yeah.
That was going to be their cover.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude. It's really, I mean, you know, there's all sorts of crazy technology. They probably can somehow activate people like that. I mean,
Oh,
this
for sure.
Dude, you know,
For
was
sure.
was I mean, from what everybody says, all these interviews, because the FBI has not been helping the local authorities with like, you know, investigating this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the local authorities are doing the best they can do, and all they can find is everybody saying nothing but good shit about this kid. You know,
Crazy.
That's
As he was in a
fucking crazy.
BlackRock commercial. And
Yeah,
then
that's really weird.
that's
there,
super nuts.
bro. Yeah,
And how come nobody's saying anything? It just doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I know, man.
The biggest thing I think too is when they were saying how there was repeat visits from like the Pentagon, like a cell phone from the Pentagon or something to his house,
yeah.
like multiple times.
Yeah,
It's like who's
I mean,
coming?
obviously something was going on. You know what I mean? It's like, and again, but because of COVID, it makes me completely believe that there is something more to the story of
Right.
Thomas Crooks, right?
Right.
But if COVID would have never happened, I might still be like, oh man, he probably just this crazy motherfucker just did this shit. But
On
there's
his
no
own?
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way. I mean, yeah.
And why wouldn't he use a scope? Why is he using fixed sights?
It's almost like, I don't know, man. There was a lot of theories at first. A lot of them are bullshit, like the tower shooter.
Yeah.
Somebody was on the water tower or whatever, and I guess that was all proved wrong.
Yeah.
But there was other windows that faced that direction, and it doesn't seem out of the question that they threw him up there to take a few shots while they had a real marksman who was supposed to take a shot from a different angle
to make the kill.
And then the Secret Service sniper, Pops Thomas, he can't speak, and the other guy sneaks away, and that's why they cleared that room out. That all the Secret Service agents were like, or I think it was local law enforcement was in that room. They were staging or whatever, but they were all gone during the time of the shooting. So
what do you think would have happened?
I think
thank God it did.
Mayhem, bro. I think
that's what would have happened, right?
I think unfortunately that the world would have changed right away. We probably would have gone to war with other countries because we would be blaming countries for it. We would, even though I'm convinced that it was an inside deal, they would have to blame Iran. We would have to probably nuke Iran. I don't know if can I say that on YouTube?
Already said it.
I think it would have been bad, bro. It would have been bad, and it might have turned into an actual civil war, which I kind of think we're in a civil war right now within the government, like the state against the Fed. When you got governors still wanting to have a sanctuary city and just ignore what the president of the United States is telling them, what would you call that? I mean, that's some form of civil war, I think.
Well, they've ran free for so long with nothing to slow them down, no impedance. And just passing all this BS woke nonsense. It's just like, who would ever? And when it was happening, it's like, is this a dream? Like, are we really dealing with this? Are we having this discussion with men and women's bathroom and men and women's sports? Dude, I wish the dude would.
I remember the first rave I ever went to in Deep Ellum was at the Bomb Factory.
Nice.
And oh my God, bro, we told my mom we were in like a shut-in, the skating rink or something.
You're on X, your brain's all getting fried.
We get home at like 7 a.m. She had breakfast ready for me and all my friends.
Huge.
But anyway, that was the first time, and this was a long time. This was like in '93 probably.
Yeah.
But they had like a unisex bathroom. And I remember standing there taking a piss, and I look over, and there's this chick, sitting down on a stall. They had taken the stalls out, right? So there was like 3 toilets and like 2 urinals. Nice. And it's just a bunch of dude and chicks in there pissing and shitting.
Wow.
And that was so weird to me. You know what I mean? And now you got weird people, going into the woman's bathroom on purpose as a man. What would you do if you're at the gym and you see some dude, obviously a dude, he just has a pink leotard on and call himself a chick? Would you say anything to him if you saw him going to the girls?
I'm not a good example, bro. I'm not a good example.
I think I would say something, dude.
Definitely.
I think I would say something, bro.
That's my downfalls. I don't have that filter.
You got to pick. You don't want to get beat up by somebody like that, right? That would be totally humiliating. So, I guess it depends who it is. Yeah,
they are strong. You're right. So you got to watch what you say and how you say it.
But if I felt like I could take them and I seen them going to the chick's bathroom, bro, I think I would. I would say something, dude.
I don't even think about that sometimes. Like it's just.
I don't know why I'm thinking about that.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, but dude, it hits a sore spot, and I feel like that. We definitely jump timelines because if that did happen, I feel like guys like you and I, like just normal cats that have something to lose, would have just said, you know what, now is the time that I don't have anything to lose now. Like, not that we're going to try to push a revolution or anything. We're not trying to do that, but I honestly feel like that normal American people would have been like, okay, that's it. If we don't do this now, then there's no way we're ever going to come back from this.
I think a lot of it had to do with the stopping of scoring in kids' sports. When they quit keeping score for soccer and baseball and football, for little league shit, I think that was the beginning of the end, bro. It turned them all into a bunch of pussies, man. Nobody knew how to lose anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody ever lost, right? I mean, even my son, man, he's 18 now, but when he was 5 or 6, they'd have a complete soccer game with no scoreboard turned on.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the score, coach? Oh, well, we don't,
Why
we don't
we
keep
here?
score.
Yeah, why we
Yeah,
here?
like what do you? These kids have, dude. I had to learn how to lose. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I was never lucky enough to be on a good soccer team or a good football team. I lost my ass off, but I think it built character.
It
You know?
definitely built character because as a kid, you didn't work harder for anything in your whole life besides those field day ribbons.
Yes, man.
Like if you wanted to win a race or something on field day, you fought for that first place ribbon. you
Yeah.
know? And now everybody just gets one. So there's no ribbons, so there's no
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
character.
that and then we weren't allowed to bully anymore. Bullying,
Oh,
became.
they need to bring that back for
Bro,
sure.
I think that, man, I think it lets people handle adversity better.
Oh, dude.
Like shit, I was picked on. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, you sound like you grew up in maybe from where you're part of town, DeSoto, Duncanville. Like there's probably a lot of African Americans there versus
Yeah, you could say that.
and where I was, being Hispanic, I grew up mainly around a bunch of white people.
Yeah.
So you have to have thick skin. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
they're gonna talk shit
Yeah.
about you because you're different. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Well, and DeSoto was pretty versatile, diverse. When I was real young, it didn't really start changing, as far as the racial makeup in
Yeah.
DeSoto till probably the late '80s, in the early '90s. But by the time I got in high school, man, I mean, me and my buddies DJ'd, right? And it was, it was everybody would come to these parties.
Yeah.
Right? We usually would play rap, right?
Yeah.
So it was all the, Mexicans,
didn't matter
blacks,
back
it didn't,
then.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we were all friends, and
exactly.
none of us, there was no racism, not that I saw or witnessed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've never known anybody in the KKK or any kind of, they're just. I feel like people think about that more now because of all the. It's just on the news. The media talks about it, and I'm telling you, I think the more it's talked about, the more it becomes a problem.
Right.
Whereas if we just all live together as we used to be, then I
Right.
mean, it makes the world better.
I feel like the kids these days, especially because the teenagers that like when I'm involved with my daughter, her friends are constantly over. I hear them say, "Oh, that's racist," more than anything.
Really?
And like, do you even know what that means?
Yeah.
Because that is not racist. That's just me saying my opinion. That's just me stating the facts. That's
Yeah.
not racist. It's just knowledge. But I feel like these kids these days, they, like I was saying earlier, they have so much thrown at them, so much adversity that they're just different than us. They have to be locked up. They have to be guarded because if not, they can be taken advantage of so easily.
Yeah. Well, man, this was a great first show, dude.
I think so.
What do you think,
I
man?
think it was fun. Hopefully, next time we have somebody in the seat.
We'll definitely have a guest lined up. I got a couple on top of my mind. I'm sure you do too.
Oh, yeah,
we'll
of
figure it
course.
out.
I think the first one we're going to have on is going to be a big one for me. A client that I've had forever. Has got great stories.
Very cool.
And